Alright, how's it going, people? So I'm going to continue with a little bit of in-depth thing on how body fat is lost and how you move through things and get things going so that you have a bit more of an idea on how to get to your goals and how to move. So I'm going to cover a few things. I'm going to cover what happens, how it happens and where it happens and how things are gotten rid of. So I've got some notes down here. So if I look down here and I'm referring to notes so I don't get anything wrong, because I'm going to bring up facts. Now these are taken from the British medical journals, from scientific studies, from the American Institute of Health and a few other things as well. So I've kind of taken it all down and encapsulated it into very simple bite-sized chunks, and then you can go away and take it and take a look at things. Okay, so we're going to talk about calories in, calories out, and I've had this argument with a few people, so I'm going to state here is calories are building materials. Okay, so if you want to take it as a house, if you're going to build a house, if you want to build a small house, you don't use as many materials. If you want to build a big house, use more materials. If you want to take something away from a house, you take away those materials. If you want to, calories are building blocks. Okay, they are building blocks, and it depends on how you're going to do. Now, yes, before it goes, well, I've been taking my calories in and calories out. Yeah, hold on, hear me through. Yes, you can lose body fat if you reduce your calories, and I'm not saying you shouldn't reduce your calories. What I'm saying is you should use your calories to be building a lean mass whilst you are getting rid of the body fat. Okay, so we're gonna come on to that. Yes, calorie deficit does help, yes, but it helps in the fact of how you build your body. So studies have shown is that the primary exhalation or the primary excretory organ for body fat is through the lungs. You breathe out body fat, which basically means that you use oxygen, you breathe in oxygen a certain amount and you breathe it out. Okay, now if you do it right, you can really be effective. Now, before I go into anything, you need to take a look at why martial artists talk so much about breathing. Oxygen is the primary fuel, all right, primary fuel for doing things. If you don't have oxygen, you're dead, all right? It's as simple as that. So whether you're sitting down and not doing anything, or whether you're highly active, oxygen is the primary fuel for your body. It's what makes it go, all right? It's primary fuel. It's what keeps you going throughout a training schedule at the gym, or when you're running, whatever it is. So it's reckoned that you need to take in so much oxygen. I'm not going to run through the numbers. I'm not going to go through that. I want to explain how it works, okay? Because it's going to work for different people, okay? These studies have shown that some people have better oxygen use than others. Oxygen circuit, they have a better oxygen to blood ratio than others. It varies on just how much. So when you are breathing, and before you tell us, well, I can sit at home and breathe all day, no, there is a certain amount you need to take in, because we can all sit there, we can breathe in and out, we can all eat, and we can all sit there. If we have a sedentary lifestyle, we don't do anything, we're going to get fat, okay? This is about breathing under pressure of training and working. So when you are running, when you are training, it's about the oxygen that you're taking in versus fat breathing out. The secondary is through urine and feces. And last of all is sweat. And I hear people, oh, I'm sweating, I must have done a good workout, I'm sweating all over the place and stuff. Actually, that's because your body is cooling down. That's nature's way of your body cooling down, okay? It's nothing to do with losing body fat or anything. It's the third thing. You're more likely to pee it out and poop it out before you sweat it out, okay? So if you're going into the sauna and saying, now, the way it works is you breathe out the body fat in the carbon dioxide, and then you will sweat it out. You'll pee it out and you'll poop it out, and that is water retention. You breathe out the carbon dioxide, the rest is turned to water. So sometimes when you have that really sort of soft jelly-like substance in your stomach and here, and it's really soft jelly-like, that's actually water that is pooped and peed out and then finally sweated out, okay? So, where do the calories in, calories out come from? It's all down to how active or sedentary you are. So, for instance, if you are taking in a bodybuilder's food, because food is the secondary source, we need food to eat and to grow. It contains all the building, okay? The fuel is kind of like, oxygen is kind of like the fuel. You breathe it in and out to move and everything else like that. That's what makes the body go, makes the body move, makes the brain, blood carry to the brain and everything, so you can get everything going through, so all the signals can go all the way through. Food is the building blocks where it doesn't make you move. It just means that you get certain nutrients to the body so that it can grow. Okay, so, well, it can actually put on the weight, whatever. Now, if you're on a bodybuilding calorie intake, such as a Mr. Universe or a Mr. Olympia or anything, and you're sat at home, you're sitting on there, doesn't matter how much, how well it is or how balanced it is or anything else like that, you could eat chicken and rice all day, you're going to get fat. You're going to get fat. It does take effort to do that. That's why they turn around and say that it's useful if you train, if you go in, if you go and use that, and I have been in a position when I was training twice a day, I have actually started burning body fat on 2,500 calories to 3,000 calories per day, and that was before lockdown. Now, when I wasn't training, I tried doing it, and I started gaining body fat. I was still keeping something, but I was nowhere near training what I was when I had 2 hours twice a day. And believe me, before work I was doing an hour and a half training, and then I would finish work and I would go into the gym for another 2.5 to 3 hours to train. Okay, and it was working for me. Now I'm doing something different. I am in the gym for a good amount of time, and on my days off I am in for a little bit more, and I'm coming down. The whole point of this is to look at the basics first. Okay, now when you're training, you need to be taking the same oxygen as you are when you are at rest. You need to be training so that your oxygen to blood ratio is good enough so that you can actually start using the oxygen more effectively, that your body works more effectively, that you start this process within. Okay, that is the ultimate goal on why some people are more successful, not because they actually learn how to breathe. Obviously there are other things, but this is a basic intro into that. Now, this is the first part. I'm actually going to go on to the second part and go into a little bit more detail. I wanted to get sort of like the introduction done, just a little bit talking points on why, and then I can bring in more of the science later and actually go through and actually cite a few passages, cite a few things. I'm still doing the research. In around about 3 or 4 days I'll have enough compacted to do that. So this is part 1 on why we lose body fat and how we lose body fat. Now I'm going to come to the end with The question, well, what about fat burners? You've used fat burners, Ian, you've done this, you've done that. Yes, I have. And they do help on a short-term basis. Notice that. And what you're actually losing isn't per se body fat, but it's helping you to disperse the stored body water that you think is body fat and disperses it through urine and feces, the secondary ejection of body fat, not the first. But we'll go into that later, and I'll go through that, and I'll present the science, I'll present the facts and everything, so that you can take a look at it and then you can make your own mind up. Again, I invite anybody to make whatever comments they want, whatever the comments they wish. I welcome them. If anybody's got any extra, put it in the comments on the video. Share if you find this helpful. Like, dislike. You know, I'm going to turn around and say I'm actually losing body fat. I've actually gone up a couple of pounds and I've lost body fat down here. So, you know, but then that's anecdotal. And you know, we all have anecdotal stories, okay? And what I'm going to say is I've been using this formula, and it's no real secret. There's been lots of research done. A lot of other people have as well. So, you know, take a look at it, see what you think. Hope you like the intro. As I said, hopefully around about Friday, Saturday, I will do the part 2 to this and get it out to you, and then hopefully it'll help with your training and how you train and how you approach your training with a better mindset. So have a great day. Thank you very much for listening.